name is Abby Lopez, and I am specifically doing this video for the purpose of showing those American, Canadians, and other brothers, English-speaking brothers and sisters who may possibly question what's going on in Ukraine, overseas, and in Poland, because we who live in US, we watch this, but we would like to hear firsthand from people who are in the midst of it, of everything that's what's going on. And as you know, if you see my Facebook, I'm posting so many informations directly from Ukrainian or Polish brothers and sisters who are just giving me messages just day and night on what's going on. So I have two of my Polish men, as you know, I have a Polish ministry. I have two of my leaders from my ministry. They also have their own churches, and they are involved with the situation of what's going on. Patrick is with me. He's a pastor of church in Łódź, your city. Yes. And also I have Robert, who is involved in he's got his church near Krakow. If you see the Polish map, it's down south. So I will translate Pastor Robert, but Patrick will speak in English just to explain you what's going on. Patrick speaks 3 languages, Polish, French, and English. So Patrick, could you please tell us what's going on? You are in Poland.
Well, hello everyone again. I'm Patrick, Crépin Patrick Kana. I'm the former pastor of the New Covenant Church in Łódź, in Poland. Mm-hmm. And well, the situation is just like you heard it on the news, actually, most of it, for being sincere. I've been in a place called Przemysł last week. Przemysł is a city close to the border. It's not really at the border side. It is just close, like 17 or 20 kilometers from the border. And that place has a train station, which is one of the main places where trains are coming directly from Ukraine. Everything that we have heard about the war and the movement of population and stuff like that is really real in Poland, because we have over 1 million people that has already crossed the border of Poland.
I've heard almost 2 million.
Almost 2, yeah. Because it's growing every single day. The situation is really dynamic, actually, and that number is only growing day after. The Polish border with Ukraine has like 8 or 9 points, I believe, 8 points of crossing where people are coming all around. And I have been only in one place, and I can tell you that I've seen hundreds and hundreds of people crossing just through that. I can call it even a transit point, that place where I was, because I was only in a train station where those trains are coming from Ukraine. Now, the movement of those of the population is really critical, because I've seen people who have worked for 5 days, who have worked for 3 days, who were standing on the train like this for 3 days from a city to the border, and people that were completely devastated with tiredness. I've seen children crying, overlasted, they were completely exhausted of that really hard trip from Ukraine to Poland. So that war is real. The situation which is going on there is real. The population which is really crossing the border is actually something real also. There is a big need really of assistance, because we know that right now the Polish people are really open to help. There is a lot of and massive organization here that has been done privately, as from the organization, like private organization and governmental engagement also, because the place where I was in Przemysł, they were a very nice organization. Everyone could help. But at the second hand, we have to remember that this is only the beginning. Since the war is still going on, these people will be like standing in a place where they are just not only refugees, but they need to construct something of their life. They need to build something. And in this kind of situation will be a little bit more dramatic in the future. But for now, most of the people coming to Poland are just transiting through Poland. There are some of them that have families, they have friends, they have places where to stay, at least for a moment. But most of them are transiting to Germany, to Portugal, to Netherlands, to France, even to the Republic Czech. And in the place where I was in Przemysł, you have the possibility to see cars, specific buses that were already ready to take people over from the border itself, or from those location, because in Shemisu, a part of the train station where there is a kind of area that was reserved for women and kids to sleep over and just to rest before continue their journey. There is a kind of improvised, I can call it improvised camp. It's not really a camp because a camp can stay longer. It's only like something improvised for a few days for those people to rest, to not really take a shower because I didn't see any shower there, but I saw there were toilets where they could try to refresh themselves and stuff like that, and sleep over, eat something before continuing their journey. So in those places, there are cars coming all around, people who are individual coming to pick those who are going to some cities where they're also going, or taking them to specific other places like Warsaw, Krakow, or even in the just abroad of the country. So yes, there is an organization made there, but this is so much dynamic and growing that the massive need of help is more than actual.
Could you say, Robert, what kind of help is specifically needed from us, let's say, who are watching from America, from Canada? Jaką specyficzną pomoc potrzebowalibyście jako polskie kościoły od nas, od braci i sióstr z Ameryki?
Jestem pastorem, który funkcjonuje tutaj w zasadzie na Podkarpaciu, czyli jest to 130 kilometrów do przejścia granicznego na Ukrainę.
I am a pastor, Robert, who has a church about 130 kilometers from the Ukrainian border.
I praktycznie wszystkie kościoły tutaj na terenie Podkarpacia bardzo mocno zaangażowały się w pomoc dla uchodźców. To są ogromne liczby ludzi.
It is the place called Podkarpacie, where basically 100% of our churches are involved very much in helping Ukrainian refugees.
Byłem 3 dni temu w Przemyślu i naprawdę jest to rzesza ludzi.
I was 3 days ago in the city that Patrick was talking about. It's called Przemyśl. That's the city right by the border of Ukrainian border. And it's just mass of people. It's unbelievable.
Ludzie przyjeżdżają samochodami, zabierają do domów, przygotowują jakieś takie miejsca w swoich budynkach kościelnych.
Many people are literally taking them on their private cars, taking to their houses or to their churches to feed them, to clothe them, to give them shelter.
Ale widzę też, że jest zmęczenie takie w ludziach, ponieważ tam tak naprawdę ten strumień uchodźców się nie kończy.
But I noticed that there is exhaustion in our people because it's already 18 days. To jest 18 dzień, tak? It's 18th day of the war as we are speaking today. And people are tired of just driving back and forth, but the wave of people, Ukrainian refugees, never stop, never cease.
No, tak naprawdę, no niestety rząd polski w żaden sposób się nie przykłada do pomocy tym ludziom. No, są jakieś obietnice, ale to ciągle jest nierealne.
Our Polish government is promising a lot, but it is so far from reality right now. If it wasn't for private people, those people would have no homes, nothing.
Więc myślę, że każda pomoc, jaka jest możliwa, tutaj na pewno byłaby dobrą rzeczą.
Any type of help would be very, very important from you, for instance, financial help.
Ponieważ no, ludzie inwestują swoje własne pieniądze. My też wysłaliśmy dużą kwotę na przykład do kościoła naszego, żeby pomóc, bo naprawdę idą mnóstwo pieniędzy na to.
And this is countless amount of money that we are talking about, because like me as our church, we sent out so money, but then again, it comes from our own pocket, and we in Poland don't make that much. Our budget, our income isn't that great to supply the huge need that there is.
Teraz trzeba będzie w jakiś sposób tym ludziom pomóc, znaleźć pracę, czy no, w jakiś sposób znaleźć tutaj miejsce. Przecież ich domy są zburzone, ich miasta są poburzone, nie mają gdzie mieszkać, nie mają się gdzie podziać, więc to jest straszne.
We will need, private people, mówisz o prywatnych ludziach.
Tak.
We private people, I'm not talking about government, the private people, we will have to help them find job, another house eventually, so they don't live in our houses all the time, because they have literally nothing to go back to.
Ostatnio były zbombardowane miasto 20 kilometrów od polskiej granicy, także na dobrą sprawę my mogliśmy słyszeć już wybuchy jakieś tam.
Recently, literally 20 miles, 20 kilometers away from our Polish border, there was already bombing. So practically we are able to hear those bombs in Poland.
No, także z góry dziękujemy za wszelkie formy pomocy.
That's why we would like to extend our gratefulness and gratitude for everything. If you are the one that donated money through me, and I'm gonna say, I am the one that's also organizing that fundraiser. If you donated already, we want to say thank you so much, because I'm sending this directly to Patrick, to Robert, or to 5 other locations, the churches that are working day and night constantly to help them. Patrick, would you like to continue?
Yeah, actually, I just wanted to precise us so that the type of need here is just like the need that everyone needs to have to live. You understand? Let us say from the bottom of, the basic of chemical products, food, whatever. Actually, anything is really helpful, because when I was then Shemisu, what I could say is that those people were completely, with nothing. And okay, in every kind of population, you have different kind of people. You have the rich people, and you have those who are less, a little bit rich, and you have the poor ones. I believe that the very first wave of people that were leaving Ukraine, that were those who are a little bit more I would say comfortable financially.
Comforted.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And now we have this wave of those who didn't have means actually to live much there, and who are coming here also with a goal, with some dreams also and stuff like that. I have to tell you that Polish was already open a little bit earlier for Ukrainian people who were coming here to work and stuff like this. So there's a kind of culture and connection a little bit between those two countries so far. But the thing is, now with this war, we are facing something much more serious than only by opening the borders for them to work. We are facing this situation where they need a place where to live, at least by the time that their cities will be safe, so that they go back to rebuild them. And we have no idea how this is going to last. So yes, any kind of help is much more appreciated.
And especially a prayer. If you cannot help financially, we are asking you to seriously pray, because I would like to add one thing. I noticed the mentality is, and I'm going to get to that mentality of opposition, of people that don't believe, they think it's propaganda, or there is something, or people of Ukraine deserves this, because we have all kinds of people that believe different, or they trying to come up with options or that will justify to stand against this whole help agenda or mission. But I would like to say this. We people in America, I've noticed, I don't know how it is with you guys, but I'm speaking from my own observations, and it's not judgment. We got used to the first week is amazing. Wow. I mean, amazing in a way of we get terrified. Oh, we want to pray. But then we kind of the next week, the following week, we just kind of push it away. And we just like with other wars. Yeah, oh, there is a war, but we forget that people are dying daily. People like you and I, and if there is a way that I can help, I will do everything to just step in and say, you know what, I want to fight for righteousness, maybe through money, maybe through prayer. Don't cease praying. I'm asking you guys, if you are watching this, don't cease praying.
I wanted to add something a little. One of the goals why I went to Sherisu was actually to meet people with black skin, those foreigners who were living in Ukraine, and that also were impacted by the war that is going on there. There were a lot of information coming out from there, how they were maltreated and how they were a little bit discriminated somehow. And but unfortunately, or fortunately, because it might mean the both. When I was in Shemisu, I didn't face any kind of racism or something like that those people were facing. I met one guy from Tanzania, and he was actually fine. And the way how he told me he was taken care in Poland was exceptional. But I know that there were a kind of noise about Ukrainian side for that, for those things, for those kind of issues that happen. I got an information yesterday from a private sources that those things are already over, because even then they completely changed the way how they were treating those people, because they were making a kind of favoritism for women and children from Ukraine first, and the rest of the population is going to wait a little bit. But now it has changed a little, according to what I heard. But this is something that we need to check also. So there is a need of prayer. There is a need of prayer, because we still know that there are people who are stuck in the zone of war, who are still waiting for bombarding, for all those bombs to stop, for the bombarding to stop. And there are people that are still hiding. They contacted their families, foreigners just like Ukrainian. And yeah, there is a really great big need of prayer. And the last thing that I will add is this. I know, but this is one thing that the God has told me when I was preparing myself, because when I saw a lot of churches engaging themselves from the very beginning of this situation, God told me to wait. He told me personally to wait. And I didn't know why. I didn't have this very huge need to go and check and do anything. But I had this conviction that I have to wait until this a little bit calm down, because later there will be a bigger need of help than now. Because right now what they need is like a quick thing just to survive for a few days, but then they will need a major kind of help actually for them to live. And at that moment, the church will be much more than needed, because this is exactly the mission that we have in this world.
Yes, thank you so much, Patrick. And I will ask you in the future to come back and do another session to just update us. In closing, I'm going to ask Robert to tell us about the opposition. What would you like to tell to people who think different than us? And I'm really not trying to throw darts at them, just people who disagree or bought to an idea that there is some kind of scheming idea behind this, that maybe Ukraine, that was the whole motivation. Maybe the Ukrainian president had this in mind. Maybe there were other stuff. And basically, there are people who justify not to, why we should not get involved or help people. Robert, chciałabym, abyś zamykając tę sesję odpowiedział nam na pytanie albo przemówił do ludzi, tych, którzy stoją w opozycji, którzy wyciągają różne propagandy albo różne powody, dlaczego mamy im nie pomóc, że to jest, wiesz, jakieś kłamstwo, jakie za tym siedzi, przyciągają różne historie, prawda, z poprzednich lat i tak dalej.
No, myślę, że miłosierdzie jest cechą Boga i Jezus litował się nad ludźmi, którzy byli w różnych trudnych sytuacjach i pomagał im, więc my jako chrześcijanie nie możemy mieć zamkniętych uszu, oczu, nie możemy udawać, że nie widzimy tej tragedii, tego cierpienia. No ja sobie nie wyobrażam, jak
I believe that God, and those who know God, that you know that God is full of mercy, God is full of love, and that we churches, we should rise and help them. If anyone, we should be the salt and light.
Ja sobie nie wyobrażam tych ludzi, co oni muszą przeżywać, gdzie po prostu z jedną torbą całe swoje życie, wiele lat pracy i teraz muszą uciekać gdzieś do obcych ludzi i no, cokolwiek by się nie działo, to po prostu pomoc im jest naprawdę czymś, czego sobie nie wyobrażam, żeby nie pomóc.
I cannot even imagine if the lifetime you have your legacy, you have your house, you had everything that you built, and all of a sudden, within one day, just a moment, you have to grab just most important thing in your small suitcase and leave it forever, knowing that it's just going to become an ashes. How could I, in the right mind, not help them?
Z drugiej strony też rozumiem ludzi, którzy przyjmują do domu i na przykład kończą mi się pieniądze, a muszą tym ludziom zapłacić za jakieś rachunki, kupić coś do jedzenia, do ubrania, bo ci ludzie nic nie mają, więc to wszystko się kumuluje w taki tak naprawdę ogromny chaos.
On the other side, I understand that this also creates a huge chaos in Poland, specifically talking, because people, our country isn't that rich, if we may just put it this way, and people are receiving them to their homes, but they have to pay their bills and they don't have enough. Many times we don't have enough for our own food, but now we're gonna share, and they do share. But then what else to do?
No myślę, że dlatego te obawy wychodzą i ludzie stają się takimi oponentami w stosunku do tej sytuacji.
That's why I believe so much opposition from people who are just afraid. What am I gonna give them to eat? What we gonna eat?
Dlatego mówię, że po prostu no, modlitwa o to, żeby ta sytuacja została opanowana i żeby w jakiś sposób Bóg to rozwiązał, bo to jest, mówię, to nie jest do zrobienia po ludzku.
That's why we need most of all prayers without ceasing, because this situation, this conflict is not, no human being can resolve that ever.
Yeah,
Thank you, Robert.
I have to have something that God just put in my heart, just to reminded me a few moments ago when Robert was speaking. You know, this war is not only a crisis on the world in the financial way or material and stuff, but it is also a loss of human, human beings, not only those who are in the war. This is a huge opportunity, for example, for evil to actually get out and to do everything that they want, every people to do what they want, like this human trafficking issue actually, and it is already being done here. And there are also voices that are speaking about people disappearing, kidnapped, and stuff like that. So we need, actually, the government also needs to have a really big, huge structure on how to protect those people and how to keep them safe somehow. And I personally know an organization, a private organization, a Christian organization actually, which is working hard for protecting those people. I mean, to work to just make this people aware of the danger of human trafficking that can appear, because you may have people, individuals coming to pick them for their homes that are never going to their own houses, and they've been we've been seeing people who are using this opportunity to sell young girls and abuse them and stuff like that. So the prayer issue is a must from the church. And secondly, we need really the church to be actually really united in this hour of the Lord, for the mercy of the Lord to really feel in our hearts, so that we have the possibility to know that this is not only about them, it is about us. That's our identity as the church, which is has to grow out now and to just be shown somehow. People are suffering. What happens, people are suffering. Whatever it is, not if these people are not really likable or what. The story of the Good Samaritan tells us about the mercy of the Lord and who is our brother. Actually, we need to really work hard and work very, very hard, so that we reduce the impact of negative stuff and we actually show the heart of God in this situation.
Amen. Thank you guys so much. Once again, Patrick and Robert. This is priceless what you're talking, and I really believe that you encouraged people to pray, to do something about it, to give, or just be with us. Just send word of encouragement. Papa, thank you.
Dziękujemy.
Bye.